All right, so gonna upgrade some Kubernetes today and also validate a blog post. But first, the version of kubectl and Kubernetes I'm using is 1.22. So I'm currently in the master node. And we can see both nodes have 122 on them. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna update apt-get. So after we update apt-get, we're going to unhold the kubectl package, the kubadmin package, and the kubelet package. And then after that, we'll install them. So basically, this is just allowing me to upgrade these. So I'm just going to be copying, pasting from my blog for validation, but next thing we're going to do is install kubadmin at 123, kubelet at 123, kubectl at 123. But before that, let's look at my kubadmin version to show why we have to upgrade this. So we are at 122. If we do kubadmin upgrade plan sudo, we can see I can only upgrade right now to 1.22.9, but I want to actually upgrade to the next minor release 1.23. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and install kubadmin, kubelet, and kubectl at 123. So we're going to say kubadmin upgrade apply version. That should be 123. We could check right now and make sure the application's still live. It should be 100% because this does not affect the worker nodes, which are hosting our applications here. And of course, worker nodes are still serving. Great. Okay, finally, that took a while, but that's how long it really takes. So let's get our nodes. And you notice in the output it says now proceed with your kubelets if you have not already. So we're basically just waiting on the control plane to come back up. Okay, so control plane's back up. We can see the node version's 1.23, but that doesn't mean that we still don't need to still apply and say kubadmin upgrade node. So that's what we need to do next. But before we upgrade or mess with the kubelet at all, let's go ahead and drain this control plane node. So basically we're draining the control plane node, we're forcing it, we're giving a grace period of 0, and we're ignoring the daemon sets. And so we just got an error that says there are some pods, the metric server, that we need to use delete empty directory to delete its volume. So let's go ahead and do that as well. Okay, control plane node is now drained, and now let's finally upgrade this node. Kubadmin upgrade node. And of course with sudo. Great, so our node is upgraded successfully. So next things there are to do is to sudo systemctl reload the daemon. It's daemon reload. And now sudo systemctl restart the kubelet service. Now let's go ahead and uncordon control plane so I can have workloads hosted on it again. Okay, get nodes. All right, let's look at the pods and kube system. Everything looks appropriate, like it's just fine. Looking at the events briefly. Okay, so containers are starting, everything looks fine. All right, that's fine, perfect. Okay, so last thing, we're going to apt mark hold kubelet, kubeadm, and kube control. Perfect. So what's up next? Since we've upgraded our control plane, we are going to now upgrade our worker. We only have 2 nodes in this cluster, so we're going to SSH into the worker, which is called node 1. Okay, we're in. So first thing, apt-get update. Unhold kubeadmin, kubelet, kube control. Next, unlike on the control plane, we're going to basically look for the taints on all the nodes. The reason is we're going to actually evict all the workloads from node 01, from our worker node, and we want them to be scheduled onto the control plane in order for continuity of the applications. But the control plane has taints on it, so these pods are not going to be able to be scheduled on the control plane. So let's check out the taints. Oh, right. Okay. So of course we're in the control plane. We cannot do this from the control plane. We need to go back to the, so I'm sorry, we were on a worker. The worker cannot actually communicate to the Kube API server. It's not set up that way. The Kube API server is on the control plane. So that's why I was not able to execute the command. I was basically looking for the taints. So what's going to happen is we are going to drain the worker node. And so all the workloads will be evicted from the worker and be rescheduled onto the control plane node. Since we only have 2 nodes and the worker is going to be down, we need to remove this taint from the control plane in order for it to be able to cater to these new workloads coming from the worker. So we are going to remove the taint from the control plane. Now we're going to drain node 01, the worker node. We're going to ignore daemon sets. And like the last time, Alert Manager wants us to say delete empty dir data. So we are evicting the workloads from our worker node so we can upgrade it. And I've seen this this influx kind of problem before. Basically, there is a pod's disruption budget, which is not allowing the pod to be deleted. In another terminal, I could just delete that pod myself. Okay, finally. All right. Worker node is drained. That's exactly what we needed. So next thing, we're going to SSH back into the worker node as we were. Let me get the nodes one more time to get the IP address. Okay, that was right. So this worker node no longer has workloads running on it. We're going to go ahead and upgrade kubeadmin, kubectl, and kubelet. I don't really know why I'm upgrading kubectl. I don't need to be since kubectl is not even used on here. Next time I won't do it. Finally, Okay, so now we have kubemin should be version 123. We do kubectl version. We don't have the server, but we can still see 123. Perfect, clear. So now we are going to kubemin upgrade node, and we need to do this command with sudo. All right, perfect. So before we go back to the control plane, we're going to say daemon reload. And now we're going to restart kubelets. Exit out of the control plane of the worker node. We're going to get the nodes. So we have completely upgraded now. Actually, we still have one more thing to do. We're going back to the worker node because we forgot to mark to protect the packages of kubemin, kubelet, and kubectl. Okay, perfect. So now the packages are protected. And now let's uncordon node 01, our worker node. Now let's just look at our pods and watch them be all on our control plane, which we see that. So next thing we're going to do is we are going to taint our control plane to no schedule on the master node. So basically node role Kubernetes IO master no schedule. Clear. So now we have it tainted. So what I think we should do right now is we just need to redistribute these pods a little bit. So we're going to delete the pods, and I have not been very diligent and put my pods in namespaces. It's kind of a POC, doesn't really matter cluster, but you can see my pods. So they're in the default namespace, and we saw they're already on the control plane mostly. So let's redistribute these pods. We're deleting all pods. And literally that's it. We have our pods are going to be coming up right now. A second until they come back up. Make sure they're coming up on the node 01. They are, except for my daemon sets and pods with anti-affinity and tolerations. So that concludes it. That is upgrading kubectl and Kubernetes. We upgraded from 122 to 123. Thanks for joining.